Okay, so now that I have my final poster layout, I'm going to do some filter effects on it to kind of give it a look that I'm going for, okay? So I'm happy with the way that it's laid out, but it doesn't really have that 1950s kind of aged look to it that I really want. And so you can go in here and you can do some more painterly stuff with the brush tools and opacities and stuff, but we're going to call it this quits. And then plus I want to get into Photoshop's filter gallery, which is pretty cool. So if you never used it, it's use it sparingly. That's I guess my only tip. So if you go to filter gallery, notice that I'm on. Oh, let's go to. Oh no, I don't want that. What's happening? Yeah, go away. I'm going to click on my dude here, right? So I'm a filter, and then I'm going to go to the filter gallery. Now there's a whole bunch of them, and they get kind of kooky and weird looking, and they're great sometimes if you have like a specific look that you're going for, but other times they look very filtery, right? So, but for this, we're going to make it work because, and you can do something that looks like kind of like a cutout, and then play with these levels over here to get the exact look you want to by adding in more and less effects to it. And then you could, if you spend a little time dialing in the exact numbers you want, you could get something that looks a little bit like, what's one that has kind of a, you could get into like where it looks more blocked shapes, like this person's face here. Of course, this was done by hand with paintings. You're always just trying to mimic it because we're never going to go and actually paint this thing on a canvas. But so the one that I think I like is smudge stick for our purposes. And, like the intensity can get kooky looking, but if you turn the intensity down a little bit, for my person, I kind of like that. The highlight area, I'm going to pop that up just a little bit. The stroke lengths, I'm just going to knock that down just a touch. And you get just a little bit of an aged look. And what it looks like is like old printers. And this is what an old printer would look like if you were to print something over and over again. And that's kind of like what a 1950s poster looks like. And what happened to her? My goodness. Oh, we got to fix her. Oh, no. Let's go back. Hold on. There she is. Yeah. All right. So the nice thing is once I've put this filter on this one, notice I undid it, but I still did it. That was the last one I did. So if I go to filter gallery right here, this button, it's going to put that effect on anything. So that way you can be consistent. So on her right here, I'm going to put that same filter on. This house in the background, that same filter. This image in the background of my swamp, same filter. And I'm kind of happy. I think that kind of has this kind of like cool 1950s kind of aesthetic of something printed, except for the typography is just it's too bold. It's too bold. You need to give it an aged look. And to do that, kind of the last step is I'm going to merge everything together. And the last filter that I'm going to put on is I'm going to go back to filter gallery, and I'm going to do a film grain to it. And the film grain is just going to give it, again, kind of like old cameras and old printing, you'd get this kind of like grainy look to it. And I can zoom in a little bit here, and let's see. So what I'm going for, you see how you can kind of see that grain inside of the image? So I'm going to turn it off, turn it back on, turn it off, turn it back on. Do you see that grain that's added? That's kind of a cool aesthetic that I wanted to go for. And you can get really kind of wonky with it, which you don't want to do. Subtle's good. I like that. I think it's kind of cool. Let's see, let's turn the intensity up. No good. Don't like that. Very bad. Don't do. Let's say I'm happy with that. Now I have this kind of like, I'm happy. I've gotten this grain look to all my typography. The entire image has that kind of like old poster vibe to it. So I'm very happy. And this is what would be considered the final product. Okay.